it's Linda Winner with another Winner Designs and Martelli Notions video. I had a customer that called and said, I really need some more instruction on cutting along the edge of the template. So I'm going to be having Tina in a minute zoom in really close. I'm going to show you with our squares, the same concept as the rulers. These guys here, these are straight edges. I've got lots of videos on here, but I'm going to do a quickie on these. These are our strip rulers, the no slip strip ruler, 2 1/4 versus 2 1/2. I've got 1 inch here. I've got 7/8 here. I've got a 1/2 inch. So I've got multiple widths. This is our 1/2 inch ruler. 10 inches wide. These are all 24 inches here. So I have about a 17-inch cut if I fold my fabric and fold my fabric, or if I just have fat quarters stacked, even about 17 inches with these guys. So strip rulers versus specialty templates. We make all kinds of templates, both Martelli and me, Winner Designs, Coffee Cozy here. This is a complete circle. I want to show you a couple things on those too. And I have videos on those, but this is just focusing on cutting. So our Get a Grip material, no slipping, no kidding. This guy here versus an acrylic. An acrylic, where I'm putting my pinky down on the table, the arthritic pinky. Why does it have arthritis? Because I've been doing this with rulers for years, and that pinky has a lot of pressure. Our Get a Grip material, the no slip material, that's going to grab. When we go to cut, what I want you to think about doing, by the way, right-handed, left-handed, 45 millimeter, 28 millimeter. We make a 60 millimeter rotary cutter as well. I've shown that in a bunch of videos, but I'm going to be using the left-handed rotary cutter because I'm left-handed. Watch my videos. I'll show you how to roll that open, flicking it closed. I show you how to cut in front of your shoulder from your hip, shoot from the hip, not in front of your body. You can see here, this is not where I want to be. I want to be over here. What I want to do is always ensure that I'm going to get this part here, this part here, this part here, this part here. If I start here, I may not get right on the edge. So I like you to start a little bit further past. This hand is going to hold here, and Tina's going to focus right on this edge here. As I roll, I'm not going to roll forward, I'm going to roll backwards forwards. What I want to do is ensure that I go a little bit further. Here I went a lot further because this is scrap fabric. But if this was a nice big piece of fabric, I wouldn't go quite as far. Start on the side, backwards, forwards. We're going to continue to turn. I think I have 4 layers of fabric. You can cut 8 layers, 10 layers at the most with our rotary cutter stacked underneath here. When you're learning, 2 or 4 is where I want you to start. Get to 6, maybe even 8. Start on the side. You can see I'm butting it up here. This blade is nice and straight. I'm not tilting like this. I'm not tilting like that, although when we get to some of our other rulers that are longer, I'm going to be saying hug that template, hug the ruler. Start on the side, roll backwards and forwards, and then turn one more time. Backwards and forwards and turn. What that gives me is perfect corners every single time. No excess fabric sticking out. We get it exactly how it is that I want it to be. I want to show you how to use a ruler that's too small for a project. I've got batting here. I want to square this off. See this fold that's in here? I don't want that in here. This ruler, you can see it's almost that length. I'm going to go even shorter because you may not have the right ruler that you need. So what I want to do is show you how to scoot the ruler along. I'm looking down here, right here. I want the ruler to be past the edge of the batting. I'm going to put this here, and then I want to move it over where? To my shoulder. If I have it in front of me, good luck with that. Shoulder, Tina, zoom up to my shoulder. You can't see, my shoulder is in pain. This guy here versus over here. When I'm over here, this is where I'm going to be cutting. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll that rotary cutter open, and as I go, I'm going to hold my fingers here. I don't have to push down really hard. If I were doing 4 layers of batting, I would be putting a lot more pressure. I've got 2 layers, and it's fairly thick, so I am going to put a little bit of pressure. I'm going to cut to about here. See how far I've gone here? I'm going to pick up the ruler, and I'm going to line that up. I'm looking at my batting here, and I'm lining that up, and I'm looking to see right there to see that it's lined up. And that allows me to continue that cut. And again, I haven't moved from my shoulder. I'm cutting right in front of my shoulder. So that allows me to square up if I've got a ruler that's too small for the project that I'm doing. All right, so let's go over to this ruler. You can see this here. This is a little bit longer. When I go to cut, easy for me to do. Again, cutting from the shoulder, hugging if I need to. I'm going to hug here. When I do something like this, as I get further away from me, if we were cutting in front of our body tends to do this because this wants to go over here. So if I start cutting here, I'm going to naturally want to do that. That get a grip isn't going to let me because it's grabbing that fabric. So I want to position here, but what I want to do when I start to cut is hug the ruler. A lot of people feel like they're going to go like that. Part of that feeling is because they're cutting in front of their body. So if they change your position from your shoulder, your hip. That's where you want to be. As I cut though, if you feel that you're veering off, again, still hug that ruler. We're going to hug the ruler. If that's still hard for you, then I want to show you one more thing you can do with it. We're going to turn this ruler around. I want to choose the narrower spot. I have 1 1/4 here, and I'm going to line up. Let's say this was selvage. I'm going to line up any place on my mat. I'm going to use my 1 inch mark here. I want to cut that off. What I'm going to do with my 1 inch, I'm cutting all that off. I'm looking down here. I'm looking up there. I'm going to line up this line with that 1 inch. I'm bringing over here my ruler, looking down here, looking along here. This and this here, and this here should all line up. All I'm doing is squaring off. This is for those of you that say, I can't follow along the edge. I don't know why. I can't follow along the edge. So we're going to use this built-in edge. Cole is jumping up on the table. Let's see if we can get away with this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut. What that allowed me to do is square off exactly as I wanted it to be. Can you see how that is there? And this is Cole, my baby. I'm going to put her on the floor. Cole loves to be with her mama. Callie, she's our scaredy cat. She's hiding. Okay, so I want to move over to another template, this guy here. When we cut with something like this, I've got 2 layers of batting that's fairly thick. What I want to do is think about where that curve is. If I think about right here from my shoulder, this is straight, and as I turn the template, I still want to be straight. As I turn the template, I want to be straight. I'm going to be turning straight, cutting here, not cutting like this. That's weird. Not only weird, but it's painful. And when I go to cut here, I don't want to cut that way because I'm not ensuring accuracy there at all. The get a grip, it does an amazing job, but me cutting along that edge may or may not give me exactly what it is I want. I'm buying this template because of the get a grip, that no slip material, but I'm also buying it because it was cut on a laser machine. Every cut that I make is going to be the same thing. So I'm going to start before that template. Again, if you want to start on the template and go backwards and forwards, totally up to you. When I get right to about here, I can move that template as I continue to cut. You can see how that's doing a beautiful job of cutting. Now I'm going to turn that template so it's nice and straight. As I cut, I'm going to go all the way, cut off that excess. And I'm going to get this basically to here, and you can see I've gotten into that curve. I'm not tilting my wrist. I've got my pointer finger, it's doing the moving for me. Now notice here, I'm much further that way than where I was, so I'm moving that straight, not tilting the rotary cutter. If I tilt the rotary cutter down, I'm not going to be cutting that batting. That rotary cutter tilting down doesn't give us success. It's the pointer finger that does that for us. I move this again, and I want to get to this to where it's straight, and then I cut. So we've done that. That gives me exactly what it is that I want to do. All right, so I want to show you the circle. Let's see if I have fabric big enough. Probably not. I didn't plan this out very well. So I want you to pretend that this fabric is enough. Dark, dark, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is flip this over, and we want to do perfect circles. I don't have enough fabric here to do a perfect circle. Boy, just barely. Okay, so what we're going to do, there are 2 ways to go, and I show this in my other videos. We're going to cut right around here. If you push hard, you're going to be cutting into that template. So we don't want to do that. We're going to cut, turn the template. Cut, turn the template. Cut, turn the template. That's cutting around. And you can see I've cut that around. What I want to show you though is cut off. Turn the template. We're going to cut off. Turn the template. Cut off, turn the template. This might be easier for some of you. What that allows me to do is just make small, simple cuts as I go to cut, rather than turning the template, turning the template, turning the template. Let's see where I started. I think you're going to have more success cutting off, cutting off, cutting off. If I had a lot of fabric that I really liked, I would have cut my first piece smaller just to be able to ensure that I'm not wasting. But do you see how cutting that off? Now I'm right back to the center. What do I get? I get a perfect circle. If you use a bowl, a plate, a dish, they're sliding all over the place. Okay, so I hope that's answered some of your questions about using that rotary cutter. The hip, Your shoulder, this is where we're extending naturally. This is not a natural position. This might feel like what you're used to because you're used to using rulers that are doing this with that pinky on the table, and you're having to put pressure. You're digging up your mat, ruining your mat, and not having cutting success. With the no-slip material, because that's grabbing my fabric, cutting from your shoulder extends where that rotary cutter is, and I can cut without a whole lot of force and without a whole lot of effort. All right, so hopefully this helps with any questions that you have. If not, put a note down in the comment box. If you're seeing this on Facebook, make a post about whether this answered some questions for you or not. If you're on my YouTube, then make a note and let me know if there's another video that you'd like me to film. But this was a request from a customer. Winner Designs for Sewing and Quilting is my Facebook, and it's winner opposite of loser. And my YouTube is www.youtube.com/Linda Videos. And my my website is winner, WINNER, designs.com. And some of the templates that I showed you and some of the rulers that I showed you are Martelli ones, and some of them are Winner Designs. If you'd like me to email you one of my list of templates that I have, put a note in there too, or send me an email, linda@winnerdesigns.com, and say, I want your flyer. I have a retail flyer that I can send you. Martelli has a catalog that you can find online as well, and you can always call me if you have any questions about any of the products that we have and recommendations and those kinds of things. My phone number, here we go, 850-449-0259. I know I'm not supposed to do that on YouTube, but hey, go for it. Use it. If you need to, let me know if I can help. Thanks for watching.